Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm down in my craft room today. I'm getting together some fabric to put some junk journals together. And what I like to do when I start junk journals is first kind of pick out the books that I'm going to use and decide whether I'm going to just use the cover or use the entire book. And then I go ahead and pick out the fabrics that I want to use to decorate the journal. So this would either be to cover a journal or to add to the spine just some extra pattern and texture to go along with it. I kind of follow Amy over at Kittywitty Papercraft's technique of making junk journals. I think she's got a couple of really great classes, and I'll put some links below to them if you're just getting started, which I'm also a new junk journaler. I've been doing this for about a little bit over a year, and her process is really good. She's very precise with her measurements, and she gets you started in a really good way. But I do like how she adds a lot of fabric to her journals, which I think a lot of people do, but I like her particular technique, how she covers the spine and she uses pockets and that kind of thing. So I've collected quite a bit of fabric over the years. I'm not a seamstress, but I do like to use fabric for other kind of little DIY projects and non-sew things. And I had quite a bit of it, which was great because when I started junk journaling, I was using that for the spines and different parts of the journals. So I, of course, collected a little bit more. So I'll go ahead and show you my bin of fabric, but let me show you the books that I'm working on right now. So I pulled these out. When I start journaling or start making journals, I like to get the covers done first, get them all prepared, make new spines if that's what I'm going to do, and then go from there, and then pick out pages and start the signatures, and then at the end do the fun part, which is all the embellishments and that kind of thing. And some of these journals aren't actually going to have decorated pages in them. I'm going to try some blank journals, and some will, and those covers might just be more embellished. So we'll kind of see how it goes. I start out with an idea and then I just kind of go with it as I start making the journal. So anyway, I picked out 4 to start with. I think that's plenty to do for right now. And I just have a couple of different sizes. This was an old, I think this had just plain pages in it, but I like the front. I thought this would be good for kind of a masculine themed journal. This was just a book that we had that I liked the size of it and I liked the cover. So I ended up, I think it was like an activity book. So the activities part we took out, and then I just have the cover here. And I thought this would be fun to maybe cover with some fabric. This was a journal I found in a thrift store, and I was really attracted to the cover. It's kind of a cloth cover and it's a little bit squishy, and it has these really pretty flowers in it. And it's got some plain pages inside. So I'm definitely going to save these for another project, but I do like this cover, and I think I'm going to turn this into something a little bit bigger and chunkier. And then this last book this is a 1950s word book. It's a school reader, and I thought this would be fun to make into a journal that has a lot of blank pages in it too. So I'm starting there, and then I move on to my fabric. So let me just show you really quick. I kind of already picked out the fabric, so I'll show you what I ended up with, but let me just show you my fabric container. So I have a junk journal organization video that I'll put a link to that shows how I organize each of my all of my junk journal supplies. In each section, I have one for fabric, I have one for postcards and all different things. And I have them actually stored under this desk here in those stacking scrapbook cases. They're really handy because you can store everything in here, close it, and then pop it into its little container, and it hides away very well. So this is my fabric bin. I keep my fabric scissors right in the bin so that they don't get lost, and so somebody doesn't use them for something other than fabric. So I have these right here, and I just have all different kinds of fabric. A lot of this I got from Michael's and Joann's. They have the fat quarters, which is really all I need. I don't do a lot of large sewing projects, so anything would be just little embellishments. So this size is perfect for me. So a lot of times you can get like 5 different patterns in a stack, 5 or 6. So I have quite a few that I've collected. And I just try to get a variety of solids, patterns, solids with pattern, and then some solid or some patterns with some white space on it, like this one, for example. So sometimes you may, the cover that you're using may have a lot of solids on it, and you may need a little white space to kind of break that up. So I have things like this fabric, and then I have some more solid patterns, masculine, feminine, geometric. I have a lot of gingham because I really like using gingham, lots of florals. And so most of these are from Michael's and Joann's. I also picked some things up, like these handkerchiefs, and this is it's like a runner for a dresser. And I thought this was really pretty. I got this at a antique mall. So, and this I got at a thrift store. So these are really pretty. I can definitely find a use for these. So I've got those in here. And then let me see what else. Etsy has some places that you can buy some really nice, if you like vintage fabric, they have some vintage fabric places too, which I think I have a few down here. These are my solid colors. I have mostly pastels and some more florals. And then I have some Christmas down in here too. Oh, I got this on Etsy. Sometimes people sell them in just little squares like this, and these are nice for pockets. Not so much obviously for a cover, but I still keep them in here because I think they're cute for using for other small things inside the journal. So that's pretty much it for my fabric. And then in addition to the fabric, I'll keep a lot of trim too. So ribbon, I have spools of ribbon that I've gotten. I try to do a lot of florals. I have gingham. I think I got this, actually I got this on Amazon, a bunch of different kinds of gingham ribbon. I like the size. This is really nice to put, kind of trim the spine on your journal. So I have lots of colors like this. I have this floral binding. This is really pretty too. The daisies. And then I just have you can get these little groupings at Michael's. Just a lot of variety of different colors. And this is great to kind of finish off after you put fabric on, it's nice to finish off the sides of the fabric. If you have any loose or kind of jagged areas, you can just cover them over with these ribbons, and it looks really good too. And you can also find a lot of that at thrift stores. Lots of times people will put bags of ribbon, bags of seam binding and that kind of thing for like $1 or something like that. So that's good to keep your eyes out for. So let me go ahead and show you what I picked out for my fabrics. So so this one here, obviously I want to cover the whole thing. And I like to kind of have the fabric correspond with the theme of the journal. So for this one, I actually was more drawn to the fabric, or I wanted to pick a fabric that I just really enjoyed and liked. So I have a couple here, and I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use, but I have this really pretty yellow. It's kind of it has like a retro look to it, I think. And I may use this one just to completely cover this cover here, or this blue. I thought this blue was really pretty too, so I'm not sure which one I want to use. I could actually use them both. I could use one part for trim and one part to cover the whole thing. So we'll see what happens. But I was just kind of, this was just me liking the fabric more than anything, because I know I'm going to just cover this whole journal cover with fabric. And so I've got these ideas here, so I'm going to kind of think about those. And then I also, let's see, for this, the one with the clocks on it, I'm keeping this intact. So this one too, I'm keeping this intact. I'm not going to be taking apart the spine or anything. It's just going to be a thinner journal. And this one too. So I just need something I'm not going to cover this because I like the clocks, but I just want a little bit of something else to add some texture. So I'm going to trim this with some fabric. So I picked out there were a couple of things, actually 4 different things I was trying to decide on. I had this one, which is kind of just a solid gray, which this isn't bad. The clocks are pretty busy, so I don't know. I thought that actually looks nice, and I could even trim it with something a little bit more interesting. So this is kind of in the top that I may use. This one, I don't know, it's got the houndstooth pattern on it. I do like it, but it might, even though it's small, it still seems like it might be competing with the clock. So I don't know, I'll keep that in mind, but I'm not sure. And then I had this plaid, which I'm not sure if it looks too Christmassy, but I do like it. It's got the gray that kind of goes with the clocks there. So, and I also like that there's some white. It kind of brightens it up a little bit. So I don't know, I'm actually maybe considering this. So I'll put that off to here. And then this one is really pretty. It's kind of like a ticking pattern. And I think I would put it like this. I don't know, possibly. I like that it has white on it too. So I think it's between these 3. So I'm gonna think about that too and kind of decide what I want to do. Okay, and then the next one, this one I'm going to be taking apart and creating a new spine for. And I fell in love with this fabric. I got this at Joann's. They had like a little fabric section, and this is a pretty big piece of fabric. And I'm just going to I'm going to leave the cover as is. And I like that this material has some yellow in it to kind of go with the pencil. It's got some red, but then it's got the white to kind of brighten it up a bit. So I'm going to be making a spine for this, a larger spine, and then I'm going to use this to cover the spine, and then I'm going to leave this as it is. I think that's going to look good. So definitely going to use that. And then this one, I had a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do, because I'm going to create a new spine with this one, but I couldn't find any fabric in my bin that would match this. And now I could go out and try to look for something, but it's almost like if you go out shopping looking for something, you're never going to find it. It's always when you're not looking for it that you find it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to use what I have rather than trying to go out and match it perfectly. And I ended up pulling this gray. It's kind of a light gray color, and I thought it looked really nice with it. This is pretty busy, but it's like some nice soft colors. And I thought the gray kind of grounded it. I don't know, it kind of brought everything together. So I'm really happy with the way this looks. And I might add maybe a little bit of trim. I was actually even looking at this daisy trim. That might be competing with the flowers though, I don't know, but actually it looks really good with the gray. But I'll find something else, maybe like a yellow gingham, like a thin yellow gingham ribbon, or even just a thin yellow ribbon just along the side there. I don't know, we'll see. But for all of these, I'll do final videos, and I'll probably do a few videos along the way showing you embellishments that I chose and that kind of thing. It's just fun I like to film it, and I love to pick all the stuff out and kind of plan everything. So I'm going to get started on getting all my covers prepared, and then the next step is going to be my pages, scrapbook pages, vintage pages, all kinds of pages to put my signatures together. So let me know if you have any questions, and I will put some links below to Kittywitty Papercraft, and also any of the other supplies that I've mentioned. I can put some links to some of this ribbon if you like this gingham ribbon too. It's pretty easy to find. It should be pretty easy to find on Amazon. Hopefully I can find it again. But thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in my next video.